Hi, all. How are we going? I am so happy to be here. I was definitely quite busy today and putting off going live, but I am here now. I'm finally ready to talk. I wanted to drop in and talk about the cost of climate change, which, what does that even mean? It's such a huge statement. And so, how does it apply specifically to your business and your operations? And I don't know whether this is something that you have been looking at in your business. Obviously, the larger businesses do look at this on a regular basis, but how effectively are they looking at it? That's another question. And so it's something that we need to really go back and revisit as regularly as possible, because the impacts of climate change are systemic and we're seeing it starting to disrupt financial systems so quickly. McKinsey released a report about how it's impacting the insurance industry, and they're saying that the impacts of climate change and the cost to the insurance industry is going to double. So from about 2% GDP to 4% of GDP by 2050, which is huge. And that's not a direct correlation that just because that doubles that there'll be double in insurance premiums. The impacts are actually worse in some sense, because we don't know how they will trickle out into insurance premiums and the way that we're protected in our businesses, how we're going to de-risk our businesses. So it's actually a really complex thing to understand. And so I think what's really important is to start small, truncate it down into something bite-sized that you can manage within your business. So starting by looking at the actual financial impacts on your business from climate change would be, and some of the steps that I suggest to start with is, one, to do a materiality assessment. And that is to look at what are all of the risks to your business and the operations. So therefore, what are the material risks that will actually cause impacts on your business operations? And then you need to quantify from those risks, what will be the loss of productivity? So productivity in the services that you deliver, in the products that you make. What is the actual loss of potential, ultimately, revenue as well? But there's so many other things that get lost with a loss of productivity. So what is that impact really? And then finally, how does that impact, well, really evaluating what is the cost impact to deliver your service or product when these impacts occur. So evaluating the potential cost essentially to overcome this in each loss cycle. And so that's really going to help you start to understand what overall is the cost to your business when the climate effects start to increase. And the thing is, it's not like you need to go out and do a full climate assessment to understand what are the specific impacts. Of course, that will be more valuable to you to know locally and specifically to your business operations what are going to be the impacts. But there's so much of material and resources out there that talk about your local area and what kind of climate impacts you're going to face, and you can see and understand how will that impact your business. Of course, bringing somebody in to do this more specifically and professionally, it's going to result in a better outcome and a better understanding. But I think it's something so important to start doing, because your business is not protected if you're not aware of what could potentially happen. It's kind of like with COVID, do you want to be left scrambling to figure out how you're going to get through this, or do you want to be prepared and already know what is a potential action plan, and obviously have several contingency plans within that as well? So that's what we're wanting to build now, is resilient businesses for the long term that are sustainable in all senses of the word. So not just sustainable, economically, but sustainable, obviously, environmentally, socially. And, when we're seeing more, not only environmental impacts, but loss of biodiversity and impact of our social systems, and how are we going to continue operating our businesses? So knowing how to do that is really important. So anyways, it can get really complex, and I can kind of go on about this, but when we truncate it down, we're talking about the financial cost to your business. Start with doing a materiality assessment to know what the risks are. Quantify what loss of productivity you will experience from each of those risks, and then evaluate the cost of that loss, in delivering your product or your service. So that's a cost to your business. And that will start to give you an idea of what might be the cost and impact to your business. So yeah, I think that's a really great place to start and something so important to do. And that's for all businesses, no matter what your business is about. So let me know if that's something that you are doing already or you're looking at doing. You've started and you're looking at, doing the next iteration of it. Where are you at in your business? Share with me. I'd love to know. And I hope you have found this valuable. You have an amazing day, evening, morning, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.